morning. Welcome to Wave 3 News Sunrise, 6 o'clock here on your Friday. You are live in the transition zone at the 2015 Ironman Triathlon. 3,200 athletes from all over the world, all over the U.S., headed in with their eyes set here on the transition zone. This will all be filled with bicycles come Sunday, 48 hours from right now. The big question this morning, will we get to wear our wetsuits? An unprecedented algae bloom causing big-time problems. We've got the latest for you coming up this hour on the water testing results and if they'll have to strike the 2.4-mile swim from the big event. Let's get back to Lauren Jones in the studio. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, John. Another big question we're following this morning. Will Rick Pitino resign following accusations of prostitution within his ball club? Catherine Kington live at the KFC Yum Center this morning with the very latest on that. Plus, Chris McGill brings us up to speed on the road conditions and closures as we count down to Ironman weekend. And Ryan Hoke joins us. He is in for Christy Dutton this morning. Ryan, a cold front to our north. It's not.
Notice those 50s and morning. All the interstates looking good, pretty much up to speed. Cut road near Iroquois Park and then turn around and they'll run back in towards town. So be watching for those closures. A lot of side streets are closed as well. Now the bike route's going to include River Road as it did last year from downtown east to Prospect at 42 and then head in through Oldham and Henry County where they turn around and come back to town. But also they're going to be taking side routes including 1694, 393 and Highway 146 and Highway 153 as well. All this information online at wave3.com. Just click on the traffic tab and you'll find it there. We'll have another update for you coming up here, Lauren, in just a couple minutes.
6:02 this morning. Thousands of Ironman athletes are in Louisville right now gearing up for that triathlon on Sunday. We've reported all week on the big shakeup. An original date of August was moved to now in October because the heat was too much for some of those athletes to handle. With the move, 700 more athletes registered, including my co-anchor John Bull, who is live at Waterfront Park this morning. And John, I know a lot of athletes probably excited to compete in temperatures in the 70s rather than feeling like you're at 100-degree heat.
Hey, Lauren, look at this number right here. Do you know whose parking place this is? 2751?
That's you, buddy. Wave 3 News' Ironman.
That's me. This is the slowest cyclist in the entire Ironman Triathlon this year. This will be John Bull's spot. Yeah, very exciting. Not the slowest, but close, okay? This is really exciting, Lauren, in the transition zone. Look at the rows, the acreage of all these bike corrals here. It's going to be filled on Saturday. We all bring them in early before Sunday's event and park them, and that's the way it's going to work. Before we get to the questions about the water testing and the algae, I want to take you through what it is like to do the Ironman Triathlon via a GoPro I wore a couple of years ago. The 2.4-mile swim, if we have it, in the Ohio River, goes up the inside of Towhead Island, just the start there being at the old Tumbleweed. About a third of the swim is against the current. People always ask me about the current. It is rough, but you're a little bit saved by going inside Towhead Island. Then you turn, and you make the big turn down the middle of the river, coming all the way down past Towhead Island, all the way down under all the bridges, all the bridge work, and then you'll come out here at Joe's Crab Shack. Then you get on the bike, 112 miles. It can be boring at times because you're on that bike for 6 or 7 hours. Sometimes you're in big packs. Sometimes you're out there alone. Best viewing spot, go out to LaGrange, Highway 53. They're a great spot to watch them all come by. All right, after a long day already, like 8 to 10 hours into it, then you start a marathon. Let's flip over and show you, though, the best part of the marathon. I'm not going to show you the first 26 miles. I'll show you the final .2 when you're coming into 4th Street Live right there, a beautiful finish line lined with thousands of people. They pretty much announce everybody's name. John Bull, you are an Ironman. Greatest feeling in the world. All right, pop back out here in the transition zone now. Here, 48 hours out, we still don't know if we're going to have the swim. You know, when they moved the Ironman after 8 years of having it in the last weekend of August to October, they really didn't think they'd have any problems whatsoever. They moved it to October to get away from the heat problems. Guess what? We have a heat problem, an unprecedented algae bloom they've been testing for weeks. They just had to cancel the Great Ohio River Swim for this weekend up in Cincinnati, upriver. But down here we're holding out hope because the last couple of tests on the river have been good, under the 20 parts per million that is the acceptable range, down as low as 4, but it had been as high as 40 or 50. So fingers crossed here in the transition zone as only 800 athletes registered yesterday, so the bulk of them are going to register today right here. Everything's been moved out of the Gold House and is down here now on the Great Lawn, all the shopping, everything. So come on down during the day. Lauren, let's send it back to you.
John, are you worried about that blue algae at all?
I am not worried about it. I'm more worried about things that I've experienced in the past, like a mouthful of barge fuel, things like that.
I'd be worried about that too.
People laugh. People laugh about the Ohio River. Actually, I've done a lot of triathlons here in the river, not just the Ironman. Sometimes it is really, really clear and beautiful. So I trust them. I trust what they're doing. I really want the swim, though. I'd even risk the algae. I don't care.
You want to wear your awesome wetsuit, so I don't blame you. All right, John, we'll check back with you soon. Thank you.
Exactly.
Well, a storied basketball program rocked by allegations that a former player and team staff member paid thousands of dollars for prostitution services for players and recruits. Those allegations were made public in a book by a self-proclaimed escort queen. And this morning, former U of L recruits are reportedly backing her story. U of L coach Rick Pitino thought he'd be spending his preseason working on his team's defense, but instead, this morning he's focusing on his own. Catherine Kington is live at the KFC Yum Center this morning. And Catherine, there are rumors that Pitino may have to resign. Any truth to that, though?
Yeah, Pitino quickly shut down that rumor on Terry Miner's radio show yesterday on 840 WHAS. The interview came after a CBSSports.com reporter, Gary Parrish, tweeted that a former U of L recruit, Jaquan Lyle, told the NCAA that the gist of the allegations in the book is indeed true. Lyle verbally committed to Louisville in the summer of 2013, then changed his mind and decommitted in September. Right now, he's a freshman guard at Ohio State, and yesterday, Miners asked Pitino during a show if he would consider resigning in light of the CBS report on top of the other allegations.
Well, I don't know what resigning would accomplish. I think that's the cowardly way out. If I resign now without coaching 250 seniors and the people that came to play for me, what does it do for the program if the head coach just runs away?
U of L President James Ramsey made his first statement on the allegations against the program yesterday, acknowledging the investigation and urging people to stay focused on the day-to-day work of providing students with a world-class education. So the attorney for Andre McGee has also responded to that CBS report, and we will have that in the next half hour of Sunrise. But for now, Lauren, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you. 6:08 here on your Friday morning. Barricades were supposed to protect drivers in South Carolina's flooded roads, but one barricade wasn't where it was supposed to be, leading 2 Kentucky workers to die. Now officials say someone may have moved it before the accident. And Urban Outfitters wants its employees to work.
My philosophy of
prices.
The Clouds, they're going
job working for an RJ
victims
day after
Oxmoor.net.
and I'll be happy to answer.
Leonard Coots Hand Care Center.
It's time for a
long way from the Sandlot. First,
former escort's memoir about U of L are true. He is our Ironman legend here at Wave 3 News, but John, you're talking to another Ironman legend as well.
Oh, the biggest legend right here is Tom Partipilo. Nobody has more Ironman Louisville finishes than he does, and he's back. Why are you back?
I don't know. I ask myself that a lot of times.
Now, that wasn't very... Look in the camera, look really confident here, okay?
Yeah, well, as we were talking, this is just such a great event, and I just find myself drawn to it every year to sign up and come back and train. And as I said earlier, the alternative is sitting home on the couch with a bowl of potato chips all year, so I try to get myself...
Now, how much of this is the Pete Rose streak kind of thing going on? You want to keep the streak going?
Well, I've thought about that, and every year I think, well, is this the year I kind of step back and do some other things? And I don't know, I try to push that out of my mind a little bit, because streaks can be like an albatross sometimes when you...
Yeah. I must have heard 5 people at the registration yesterday saying, I just did it and I got addicted to it. Is that what happened to you? How did you get involved?
Yeah, I just enjoy the day. It's a tremendously hard event, as you well know, and there's no guarantees, as we've talked about, you're going to get to a finish line no matter what kind of shape you're in. But the crowd, the people, the way the city embraces this race, it's just so much fun to be a part of.
All right, now you're going for your 8th finish, right?
Correct.
Okay, now you must have had some hardships. Tell us about any hardships you've endured.
Yeah, a couple of years, pretty much self-induced hardships. On some of the really hot years, I didn't take enough salt or water or Gatorade, and didn't replace electrolytes, and struggled on the marathon where I was cramped up pretty good, but I always seem to find my way to the finish line, even in those years. So.
Now, what would you say to people who are watching? I've met so many people who've watched our coverage over the years and said, I just decided to get off the couch and start slowly and work my way into it. We're just normal people. You don't have to be a chiseled Brazilian dude to be able to do this. What would you tell people if they're interested in maybe working toward this?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to be the poster child for anybody that looks at me and says, if that guy can do it, I can do it. Just as you said, you just start, and that's where I started. I was out of shape, a couch potato, just probably couldn't run around this lawn at one time, and you just start at little baby steps and build, swim, bike, run, little by little, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you'll push yourself to accomplish.
Tom, good luck. Meet you at the finish line again this year. You're the man, Ryan Hoke. Hey, it's beautiful down here this morning. I'd like to start the race in this kind of weather. Is this what we'll be looking at Sunday morning at this time?
I wish, but at this point it looks like, John, things are going to be a bit cooler. Let's check out this Ironman forecast for you here. We've got temperatures that'll be starting out in the upper 40s here in the city by the time that swim is kicking off at Waterfront Park. Eventually we make it up into the mid-70s, though, by the time 4 o'clock rolls around with that marathon there. 71, that's the current water temperature in the Ohio River. That may decrease a degree or two as we head throughout the next several days with some of these cool mornings coming up. Outside this morning, Kentucky One Health SkyTrack camera in Shepherdsville showing us a quiet view. Temperatures in the upper 60s here in the city with clouds overhead. 68 in Louisville. Fort Knox clocking in at 62, some 50s down to our south, including Lebanon and E-Town in the upper 50s, and folks up in southern Indiana mainly in the lower 60s this morning. While the Doppler radar is clear for now, this afternoon that changes. This cold front right here in central Indiana moves on in, and it will spark showers and thunderstorms of the scattered variety on the Kentucky side of the river as the heating of the day gets going. Let's time this out for you here on Futurecast. You'll notice that this morning we're dry, no problems for your Monday morning commute. But as we go throughout this afternoon, those scattered showers and thunderstorms begin to erupt across mainly the Kentucky side of the river. This is a great day to download the Wave 3 News weather app. You can track the storms and get those lightning notifications for free right on your smartphone. It's amazing stuff.